four corners of the world, like the fine mist or dew on the fine blades of grass, spoken about in Deuteronomy. It could be 6:32 or 32:6. I get it confused with the rest of the stuff that's in my mind today, but look up the fine blades of grass, or the dew that's on the fine blades of grass, where the Lord was going to spread his word throughout all the world to such a vast number of people it couldn't be measured, like the grains of sand on a beach or the fine dew on the blades of grass in the morning dew. Okay? These servants, the $1 bills, the angels, cannot be numerated. They can't be justified. How many people have seen the servant? How many people on this planet have viewed the $1 bill that I have given you several hundred individual pictographs on? How many people on this, I'll ask you one question. How many people on this planet have seen the Skull and Bones from the Skull and Bones Society that was started in 1832 that I have given the world? Michael Fazio discovered a Skull and Bones on the $1 bill that can be Googled in the Google search engine. Forget about YouTube. Forget about Bing. Forget about all those other things. Google the word Skull and Bones and the number 1832. And you will come to my videos, Skull and Bones 1832. Probably Amy Says. That words can't describe what you see in pictography on the $1 bill. Because I, Michael Fazio, have shown you a piece of information that's on the actual $1 bill that I call an angel. I have shown you a piece of information of a real skull made out of bone with teeth and 6 teeth on the bottom, 6 teeth on the top, 3 lines on the left eye, 3 lines on the right eye represent the number 666, which adds up to the number 18. Then, on the outside of the Skull and Bones are 3 dark lines. On the inside are 2 light or white lines. So you have the number 666, 18, 32, which is the year the Skull and Bones Society was formed. Now, we're going to go, I'll show you that piece of information. I will show you how that works, because this is important, because this is what an angel does. An angel brings you to the understanding of a word. So if you were to go to Google, if you go to Google and you put the word, the number, with the word skull, S-K-U-L-L, and A-N-D, bones, and then the number 1832, you're going to come to the Google page of Wikipedia, and then you see the third one down is Skull and Bones 1832. Okay, the word Skull and Bones 1832. I'm going to zoom in on that. I should have zoomed in on it, but it doesn't matter. This is the word Skull and Bones 1832 that you can see at the top in the search engine up here. Just put Google Skull and Bones 1832, and then you're going to come to my videos. Skull and Bones 1832, Amy Says. Skull and Bones 1832, Baphomet 666, $1 bill, bat, and owl. Or more videos for the Skull and Bones 1832. Let's just go to Skull and Bones 1832, Amy Says. This will bring you to the video that I show you has the skull and bones on the $1 bill in such a great detail that nobody can deny that it exists in its entirety. Now what you're going to see before you on your screen is I'm going to stop the screen at somewhere around 40 seconds. You're going to have the most descriptive piece of skull and bones that you've ever seen in your life on the back of the $1 bill by folding it just one time. And what you see when you zoom out is a picture of a bat or bat's face around the skull and bones. Now this is real, folks. This isn't something that I made up today. This is a video that I have shown people for the last 2 months that's received several thousand hits. And this is the skull and bones in its full detail by going back to approximately 55 seconds. You come to a really, really clear skull and bones there, folks. That skull and bones that you see on a 30-degree angle or a 20-degree angle right here. This is the skull and bones that I talked to you about that has 6 teeth on the bottom, 6 teeth on the top, and 6 lines on the eyes. Now you can't see it because the resolution from the video to this to that, you start to lose resolution. However, on the outside of the eyes, you have 3 dark lines and 2 white lines. Therefore, you have a skull and bones with 666 adding up to 18, and the 3 and the 2 representing the number 32. Therefore, you have a skull and bones with the number 1832. Ladies and gentlemen, rest assured that this is a bat, or a hog-nosed bat, because that looks like the nose of a hog-nosed bat. Now you can't see this because that actual skull and bones, when you fold the $1 bill, is less than 1/8 of an inch in diameter, which is smaller than, is not much bigger than the head of 3 pins side by side. So this is a picture of a skull and bones which is represented on the $1 bill that no other human being on earth has ever shown anybody except Michael Fazio. This is my discovery. I discovered it. I wrote about it in my book. It's in my book. I was the person to bring it forth to the world. And then I made several dozen more videos when I got a better camera of an even crisper nature. Now there's about 14 videos that say the word skull and bones. However, I wanted to show you that that's the video that pops up in Google when you put the word skull and bones 1832. It comes to that video, Amy Says, which is one of the more crisper videos I have. And it's 9 minutes long, and you can see that the skull and bones exists. Therefore, the rest of the pictographs that I speak about in the book of Revelation also exist, although they're a lot more harder to discern. Now, how did I understand that the skull and bones existed on the $1 bill? Well, I got to tell you something, folks. In this book that we call the Bible, is the codices or codex that showed me how to make one fold, one simple fold, that eventually I call Fazigami, F-A-Z-I-G-A-M-I, Fazigami. One fold. This book showed me how to make that fold, where to make it, and what parts of the $1 bill to bring together. It explains in the Bible, in a codex, to bring the God pod and the evil seed of death together. And when they overlap slightly, minimally, about 3 times the thickness of the outside shell of the 2 seed pods, when they intermingle, there would be a picture representing something of a satanic nature. This is the codices that I discovered in the Bible and the pictographs of the $1 bill. This pictograph of the skull and bones and the bat and an owl are on or in my book. Okay, now, the reason I mention this is because I keep getting people saying that I'm crazy. And yet, the pictography exists. The words in the Bible exist. The words in the Bible describe how to make the pictographs appear by folding the bill. So how am I crazy if I followed the words in the Bible and then made the folds on the $1 bill and then the pictographs appear according to the words in the Bible? How does that make me crazy? If it's real, it's real. The skull and bones is real. Take a bill out of your pocket and make a couple bets at the bars telling people you can make a skull and bones on a $1 bill. Fazio, the crazy guy from Howard Beach, is telling you how to make a skull and bones. You say this crazy guy from Howard Beach, he knows how to make a skull and bones on a $1 bill. Somebody else will say, no, you can't do that. And you say, I'll bet you $1.